You're given $300 million to make a movie, but it has to bomb at the box office or else you die. What do you make? Live action Caillou. No idea yet, but it will take at least 50 years to make it. I get the money up front, right? Hire Uwe Boll to direct, then just leave him to it and go about your day knowing that you'll die of old age. 3 hours of Java programming with an anxious, stoned guy. That's the title. #X200B, edit. Thank you for making me manually read every comment on this thread. Also for the silver gold, though I wish I just included a PayPal Pay Me link when I originally posted just in case. A Jar Jar Backstory. The Musical. A buddy road trip movie that takes place in the Rwandan genocide. And then they go back in time for some reason. Another Robin Hood movie no one asked for. What Women Want, Part 2, starring Bill Cosby. Edit, Zip Zop Zoobity Bop. Thanks for the silver and gold. The Last Airbender 2, with the same cast and everything, except that Iroh is completely cut from the story and Appa has been replaced with a regular donkey. Springtime for Hitler. Kevin Spacey playing a guy accused of sexual assault but is innocent. I'd have Harvey Weinstein producing it and playing a cameo of himself. Remake Rambo as a musical. With Stallone doing his own singing. Edit, RIP my inbox. I didn't think it would explode like this as I normally do not get more than a reply or two on average, or even more than 10 or so upvotes, especially on this subreddit, so thanks for all the good karma. It's gotta be a movie that's emotionally and physically impossible to watch. A guy has a shit life and is a ripe cunt to the only people in his life who are nice to him, like his sweet old grandmother with terminal cancer who makes him soup every day, the nice checkout girl who's making small talk with him and seeing if he's okay, etc., a cute dog that follows him to and from work. He wins the lottery 10 minutes into the movie and spends the next 80 ducking with these poor souls in horrifying and expensive ways, below the budget on elaborate sets and props, like convincing the grandma she has dementia with elaborate scenarios using paid actors and chaining the dog up almost within reach of some tasty food. The audio will go between needlessly quiet to ear-splittingly loud and back again constantly. To induce nausea, a mild green filter will be on the entire film. It'll also be constantly warping almost imperceptibly. Holmes and Watson 2. A remake of Mrs. Doubtfire starring Kevin Spacey. Edit, apparently I can spell or predict movie trends. Edit to Electric Boogaloo, thanks for the silver. Paul Blart time traveling through history on a Segway solving all the world's past wrongs. Paul Blart stops World War I, World War II, 9/11, Columbine, his original movies act. Monopoly the movie starring Kevin Hart and The Rock as billionaire brothers that are trying to destroy each other's real estate empires, not realizing the true real estate empire is that of the heart. Live-action Yu-Gi-Oh movie with real-time card matches, no CGI and official rule with current ban list. Sense and Sensibility in Space. Sci-fi fans will hate the period drama and period drama fans will hate the sci-fi. Take $295 million as the exec producer and make the movie with amateurs and filmed on a cell phone. An urban reimagining of A Clockwork Orange starring Jaden Smith as Alex DeLarge. Funnily enough, a friend and I once sneaked into a fancy downtown, Philadelphia, party that happened to be a bunch of movie and music and television people. We were dressed okay for us, but we stuck out as disgusting among such fancy and rich people. When people asked us what we did in the business, we'd say screenwriters, and my friend gave the answer above. It earned a lot of strange yet thoughtful looks, so if this abomination gets made in a few years, sorry. Guy buys $300 million worth of stuff, the motion picture. I remember a Twitter post saying recreate the Twilight movies, but instead of Robert Pattinson as Edward, it's Kanye West, except she doesn't know he's an actor in the movie. So I'd probably do that. The trick is, hire legit good writers and good actors and film a great movie for $290 million. Then make a terrible recut of the film using bad takes, stand-ins for the famous actors, leaving out important plot points, using test versions of the CGI footage, crappy stock music on synthesizers, etc. Put this version in the theaters under a dumb name, without doing any advertising, and watch it bomb. Then a year later you can spend the remaining $10 million to put the good version of the film, with the right title, in theaters. Make back your $300 million and more in revenue, so this whole exercise hasn't been a dumb waste of time. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a struggling elderly man whose life dream is to be a party clown. He eventually becomes a clown and everyone is terrified of him. Moving the dot, the story of the Dewey Decimal System edit. Thank you kind stranger for the gold. Looks like him totally going to die. Everyone is interested in seeing this movie. An adaptation of To Kill Mockingbird that is about a spy named Mockingbird, played by Leslie Jones, and all the people trying to kill her. She'd have a CGI sidekick who is an anthropomorphic bird named Finch, voiced by Amy Schumer. And it wouldn't be a comedy. Thank you for the gold. Coming this summer. It's the sequel nobody asked for, and nobody wanted. Super Mario Bros. 2. Same cast, same plot. #X200B. I would make the absolute best movie about the life of Martin Luther King Jr. that could ever be made. I make it to where you feel as if you stand next to him as he marches across the Selma Bridge. It would be a move that would make even the most entrenched racist rethink their life. Then I would digitally lighten the skin of the person who played MLK to where they are just enough black to still be considered black, and anonymously leak that information on Reddit. Something with a 10+ hour runtime, an enormously complicated storyline, no particular actors of note, and a trailer that's full of long dead jokes. I've always wanted to make a monster movie about numbers. It's called Countdown to Apocalypse, and I already made 3D models of the monsters. http www.snakesmongoose.info blog. P213. The plot is that the Army's arithmetic division opens a portal to the dimension of value. They find out that the shapes of our number symbols were actually based off of gods. These number monsters escape into our world and cause havoc. Eventually, one number, folk, which is between 6 and 7, gets destroyed by the military. The number is erased from reality, changing all math equations and thus closing the portal. Now our heroic scientist team must find a way to send the monsters home without destroying them. In addition, we find out that the act of counting powers up these creatures every time their number is said out loud. This causes them to multiply and divide. Normally the boost is minor, but there's just one problem. It's New Year's Eve and the countdown is about to begin. Rated R. Edit. I didn't expect this to be seen this much, so I'll just clear up that I totally know it would flop. $300 million for a horror movie about math puns is not a good investment. I'd make a movie so close to being a porno that it gets banned from regular theaters. A live-action adaptation of another manga anime cartoon. Someone sitting in a room, hand counting the $300 million dollar bills. But every now and then he loses count and has to start over. A remake of the Harry Potter series, but everything J.K. Rowling has retconned on Twitter. Pottermore is not only in the movie, but made incredibly obvious. Black Panther remake with an all-white cast. Harry Potter and the influence of climatic legacies on the distribution of dryland biocrust communities, 2020. A Western with Katherine Heigl. Steven Seagal stars in Fat Martial Artist in Russia. You have to make it extremely generic and not appealing. Anything too ridiculous will garner people watching it just to dick around. So I'd call it The Man with a Plan. It's a generic action movie. Star a bunch of no-name actors. They have to stop a Russian mob boss from bombing the home of the main character. The main character has one character trait, being a dad. A big-budget epic adaptation of Finnegan's Wake. I make an animated movie with my friends and call it Doggy Style. We voice all the characters and make it more raunchy and less politically correct than Sausage Party. The main storyline is about an old male dog with a small dong who can't find work. He finds a niche porn fetish for small peepees and goes for an audition. He makes it so big in the industry that he moves on to banging normal paw stars. Adriana Barkic, Peta Jensen, Dillian Barker, Christy Snack, Janice Woffith, etc. You get the idea. I then pay $100 million from that budget to foreign agents to call in threats to anyone seeing the movie opening weekend. No one goes to see it, I live, and it probably becomes a cult classic after its staged Blu-ray release due to all the controversy.